Good morning, my Jomboy Media baseball peeps out there. It is Rose back in his crib after a week at the NFL draft in my hometown of Cleveland, Ohio. So happy I'm home. Listen, I love covering the NFL. It's a ton of fun. The draft is amazing, particularly when it's in your hometown. But man, I'm back and ready to talk some baseball. So I'm going to get my man hat because our guy Tyler Glass now from the Chris Rose rotation. Shirt's now available on our Jomboy Media website, by the way. He's going against Shohei Ohtani tonight, so that it's going to be awesome down in Anaheim. If I were any sort of good father to Tyler Glass now, surrogate father, if you will, I would actually go down and support him, but I'm not, Trevor Plouffe. Does that make me a bad guy?
You're not a bad guy. I'm so happy to see your face on the other end of this IG Live. I had Jake do it. We had BBD do it, but man,
they did great.
They did great.
Awesome. I dropped him a little note, a little thank you note. He was fantastic. He was funny. He made me laugh, and I thought I was getting Wally Pipp there for a second.
We needed Papa Rose.
Papa Rose.
Papa Rose is back, baby. I love it.
Hey, you want one of these shirts, by the way, the Chris Rose rotation?
Yes, I do. Where can I get those, Chris?
I've got a medium over here somewhere in one of these things.
I like mediums. Show off these muscles I've been working for.
There you go. Well, no, it's great to be back. God, there's so much stuff that has happened over the last few days. This was a crazy, crazy weekend. So we'll start with this. What was the Wilder incident? Jose Alvarado eventually getting suspended 3 games for yelling at Dom Smith and that whole eruption, or the Amir Garrett thing that happened with the Chicago Cubs?
There's similar incidents, but I think the Amir Garrett versus Rizzo was a little bit stranger because there just wasn't really any beef between them. At least with Alvarado, there was an incident, where Dom Smith was kind of top stepping, talking crap when he buzzed, I think it was Conforto. So at least there was a little bit of history there, and Alvarado strikes him out, says, hey, you always talk too much. But Amir Garrett, it seemed to me like he was just trying to pump himself up. He's had a tough start to the year, but he's just jawing at Rizzo in a game that they're losing, a strikeout in the middle of the inning. It was a strange thing. I think what was happening was he was trying to pump himself up, but a strange time to do it against Rizzo, who's very much well liked. I'm not a big fan of that.
So, Garrett had that issue with Javi Baez. I forget if it was last year or 2 years ago. Where
he's got an issue with everybody.
Yeah, he does. There's no question. He'll fight anybody in the National League Central. It doesn't matter. I'm going to take you on. I'm going to go after you. And he always does the whole, what is it? What does he call himself? What's his alter ego? I forget what it is. He's got some sort of nickname.
I don't know. He's a bad man, and he keeps saying that, man, over and over. I don't know what the alter ego is, but he's had that for a while.
Yeah. By the way, I hated the Alvarado stuff. I really did, because you know what? You're the guy who kind of headhunted, and so you're going to get chirping back from the other dugout. So Dom Smith has every right to be pissed off and be like, hey, man, control your shit out there. So, and here's one other point. While we're at it, so he has appealed his 3-game suspension. We're in an area where we can Zoom. That appeal should be done today. In the old days, it used to have to be, the next time you were in New York, we could have a face. Screw that stuff. Let's get this shit settled today. You can appeal your suspension. They can knock it down to 2 games. Go serve it, and we'll move on. I don't know why this stuff carries on for weeks and weeks. That has always ticked me off.
Yeah, I don't know either. And for a reliever, what does it really matter? Once they get the suspension, throw him the day before he gets his suspension, sit him for a few days, boom. Maybe loses a little bit of money, but I think pitchers need to chill out. How about that? Chill out. Go celebrate with your team. Don't look at the batter and celebrate.
Oh, there we go again.
That's what I think.
But you know what? Baez was really interesting. He was like, I don't care if you want to go celebrate. He said, I really don't, I think that's good for the game. I think that's fun. But he said it's a little too much in that instance. So I get it. All right, let's move on. More impressive from Sunday. Max Scherzer throwing a complete game, then racing to the hospital to watch his amazing wife, Erica, deliver their 3rd child into the world, or the Dodgers becoming the first team in 37 years to hit grand slams in each of the first 2 innings.
You're giving me easy questions today. I love this. episode.
Yeah,
Scherzer, right? Obviously. Are you kidding me? Knows his wife is due any day, goes into the game, complete game, shutty, 9 Ks, then finds out his wife's in labor, rushes over to the hospital. I think it's their 3rd child.
It is.
He's got to be exhausted. He's got to be proud. He puts the Nats back into first place, gets into 500. Like, what a day. Like, we just talked about Scherzer not too long ago, and he's reaching some milestone. Is he going to get to whatever it was we were talking about? Scherzer has been doing it all year, and yesterday was, got to be a day he'll remember for the rest of his life, obviously.
Yeah, I felt bad for the kid from Milwaukee who was making his major league debut, and he had to wear it for 4 innings. Like, it wasn't bad enough he gave up a grand slam in the first, but he had to go do it again in the second and then pitch 2 more innings after that. So I'll give him some credit for actually sticking in there and taking one for the team. But you're right about Scherzer. By the way, it wasn't a shutout. I think they won 3-1, but still he went the distance, which was pretty darn impressive.
But yeah.
And let's give all the credit where credit is due. As a pair of fathers here, Erica Scherzer.
Exactly. I was going to say that too. Like, yeah, Max is tired from the game, but we all know who's really doing the work.
Yeah,
on that.
Right. He's more cheerleader at that point, and he's the one getting yelled at. But that's perfectly fine. We will greatly accept that role because the alternative is way more difficult. Way more difficult. And by the way, with Scherzer, it is the one contract worth more than $200 million where you can say the team has gotten every
gosh.
And they actually, right?
It might be the best free agent contract ever signed for the team. What he's been able to do, and, he bet on himself that last year he was in Detroit.
Yep.
Bet on himself, goes to the Nationals, and, he's just been incredible. So that's just, like I said, one of the best contracts ever given out by a team.
Yeah, awesome. All right, I don't know if you've noticed, Kris Bryant kind of flying under the radar this year, hitting over 300, 9 bombs, OPS of over 1,100. He is in his walk year. After July 31st, will Bryant be playing his home games on the north side of Chicago? And do not say that's a tough question, Chris, because I know it is already.
It's not a tough question. There's no way he's going to be in Chicago after the trade deadline. He's going to be a mercenary somewhere. We talked about Atlanta. I think that's a real deal possibility. Those rumors were going on all off season.
Right.
But here's another sneaky one for you, Chris. What about Kansas City? Half a year, they're in the fight. They're top of the AL Central right now. Hunter Dozier's kind of been struggling a little bit. What if they go out and get a mercenary just for half the season? Get KB to come in there. Their offense has been good. He steps it up.
That's really interesting.
I can see that happening.
So the year they traded for Cueto, was he in his walk year? Because I know that Shields wasn't. He was there a few years.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to remember if that's kind of Dayton Moore's MO or not. So
for half a year, he'd be cheap, and I don't know what they have to give up, what the Cubs are going to want for him. They waited too long, in my opinion, to get the value out of him.
Right.
So, I think that's a team. There's many teams probably going to be calling on him, but that's one team who's kind of like Chris, flying under the radar here during this year, who could use some help, another bat. They could put him at third base. I'd love to see it.
Yeah, I think he's a goner too. I think that somehow they meet in the middle on Rizzo. I think that Baez gets a deal done because I don't think he wants to go into the free agent market with the rest of those shortstops available because I think he's closer to the bottom than the top with all those guys that are around. And I think that Bryant's the one, in part because Scott Boras is his agent. And now that he's killing it, and if he can stay healthy, he's still just 29. Look out. It's going to be really interesting. Which team that got off to a very surprising start in April, either good or bad, will continue that trend in the month of May?
Well, they call me positive Plouffe, so I'll go with a team that's overperformed, a good start to the year. The Boston Red Sox, I think, have the best chance to continue it.
Okay.
Second in the league in OPS plus. They're above average in ERA plus. The bullpen's been good. They're just getting it done on both sides of the ball, and it doesn't seem to be stopping anytime soon. J.D. Martinez is back to being J.D. Martinez, and looks to me like that NL East is going to be a slog, and they've somehow been able to kind of pull away a little bit. I don't think it's as deep as everyone thought it was going to be, and the Yankees aren't as good as everyone thought they were going to be, and the Rays the same thing. So I think Boston has a chance, to capitalize on a good first month, go out and do it again in May, and then get Chris Sale back and see what happens.
It's a good call. I like that a lot. I still think, the Yankees are starting to put it together. I know they were playing a horseshit Detroit team this weekend, but still I think they're going to be fine. Tampa still trying to get its footing, this is the second straight year they've had a ton of pitching injuries. And at some point, you're going to bleed the well dry. And you're going to run out of guys that throw 98. You're like, okay, we've gone through about 6 or 7 of these dudes. Do we have any more lying around? So for me, it's the Kansas City Royals.
Okay.
I've been on top. And with them, I just feel like, they've done this without much production offensively, right? Carlos Santana has been great so far. Salvador Perez has been pretty good. Benintendi starting to swing it a little bit, but Whit Merrifield has not been great. The rest of this offense, which I actually thought was about a top 10 offense coming into the season, hasn't carried it. Danny Duffy has been spectacular.
Duffy, yes.
Yeah. Singer has pitched well. I think they're a team that could add a pitcher or two. I just feel good about where they are right now because the rest of the division, the Twins are okay. The Indians can't hit, and I think the White Sox will be fine. But I think that Kansas City might sniff it a little bit.
I like that. I like that because I think both divisions we're talking about, the Central and the East, I don't think there's any team running away with it like how we thought they were going to. We thought maybe the Yankees would run away with the East. That's not happening. Right. We thought that it would be the White Sox and the Twins. The Twins have been abysmal. Horrible. I think they're going to be getting better. I think that'll change. But I just don't think there's clear-cut top teams in both those divisions. So I love Boston and KC. They can both, continue to do their thing. So
it was interesting. Little side note here. The Twins were staying in the hotel that I was in last week in Cleveland.
Okay.
It's like the one nice hotel in downtown Cleveland. So
I know that hotel.
The Yankees were there during the weekend. They got out Sunday. Then the Twins came in town. Then we ran into the Orlando Magic. Then we ran into the Washington Wizards. And then the Miami Heat. It was crazy. I couldn't get in the gym. The gym was shut down for all the professional sports teams. I was like, how am I going to take care of this pristine body?
That's interesting. They shut the gym down at the hotel?
Yeah, they wouldn't allow just the normal people covering. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I assume you adjusted and did like a HIIT workout in the room, some push-ups, some body weight squats.
Yeah. So actually, what I did, they did move some free weights to like a conference room downstairs. So like Steve Smith was on his Peloton, and I was over there on the elliptical doing my thing. And then
so funny.
Yeah, I'd go and get. I gotta take care of these things.
Ooh. Hey, is Steve Smith still super jacked or what?
Yeah, he's shredded right now.
He scares me. Like I would not mess with Steve Smith.
Oh no, you don't want to. I'm happy he and I are tight. That's good because he will F you up. He'll come after you.
I'm dropping your name if anything ever happens between me and Steve. I know Chris.
You'd be like, Chris Rose and I are very tight. You'd be like, so you either get one right in the eye, and then you will know where we stand.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, last one. I'm sure you saw the whole story about the Diamondbacks game where that dude and the girl were on the second date, and the streamer, tried to reach out, and it was awesome. So go see it. Jomboy talks about it somewhere, and it's just all over Twitter. Where was the one place you took your wife that eventually closed the deal? And she was like, I want to be Mrs. Plouffe.
Oh, man. I don't know. It was love at first sight for both of us. How about that? But I'll tell you about our first date. I did kind of pull out all the stops on our first date. I met her at a barbecue, wanted to take her on a date. So I called up the agency. I said, I need some tickets. Give me the suite at the Staples Center. We went to a Laker game together.
Whoa.
So, yeah, I had to pull out all the stops. I wasn't going to let her go. Okay, but I think that was a nice little first date. We got to hang, watch the Laker game. You know how Staples Center is. It's very intoxicating.
It is.
You take someone there, it's a special night. So we had a good time, and yeah, man, that was kind of it.
Okay.
What about you?
So my eventual sister-in-law introduced us. I was working with my with Michelle's sister at a TV network, and we all just went out at a bar and we met that night. But as far as the first date, I cooked for her.
Whoa!
And get this. This is in the fall of '95. The Indians, my beloved Indians, were making the playoffs for the first time ever in my life. It is game 1 of the ALCS. That vaunted Indians lineup going against Bob Wolcott. For some reason, he got the start because they had used everybody in beating the Yankees in that best-of-5 series. So we were like, we're going to kill Bob Wolcott. So I had booked a date for that night where I had to cook in my shitty little apartment in Reno, Nevada.
Reno?
Yeah. And she didn't quite get it, like how big a night that was for me and my family watching the Indians in the ALCS for the first time ever, because her dad wasn't born in this country. They weren't huge sports fans. So she was just like, oh, okay, this is nice. I was like, if you really understood how important it was in the sports landscape, and I am making time to cook a meal for you, young lady, you know that this means something.
I love
there
that.
You go.
So what'd you cook?
I think I made the only thing I knew how to make at the time, taco pizza. Yep.
Taco pizza?
It was horrible. You take those Pillsbury, they come in a little canister that you have to pop open in the middle, like the croissants. You lay it flat. You cook all the taco meat. You put the cheese on top, onions, whatever you want to put on there, and then you pop it in the oven. You got to watch it because the croissant part will burn, right? Yeah. Somebody just wrote in the chat, what the hell is taco pizza?
I was going to say like spaghetti or something like that, some classic. You went with taco pizza? Hey, she must have really loved you, man.
No, I think she was settling. She was like, okay, you're the only like non-cowboy in Reno right now, so I guess I'll take you. I don't know if you have any hope or whatever, but I'm thankful that she did.
That is good, man. That's good stuff.
It's not exactly Staples Center, but I don't know. Was I supposed to take her to the pepper mill?
Yeah, in Reno, there's not too many options there, man.
Did you ever play in Reno?
No, I've never played there. I went to a golf tournament there one time, and that was about enough for me.
I was there for 13 months. And hey, listen, I ended up meeting my wife, so it was a great stop.
You're right.
Oh, my God. What a freaking loser. All right, what do you have coming up on Jomboy today? What do we got?
I'm hopping on right now. Series recap. Obviously, a lot of stuff happened over the weekend, so it'll be a fun episode there. A sequence comes out tomorrow. I'm doing a Mookie Betts at bat against J.A. Happ, and just awesome at bat, awesome result. So, what about you? What do you got?
So we got the latest episode of the Rose Rotation just dropped earlier today with Stephen Brault, who continues to rehab himself down in beautiful Bradenton, Florida. I love listening to him. He's got a great presence about him. He's going to end up being in this business when he's all done. And we are joined by his former college teammate. So he's a very, very funny guy. John Toscas, I think is his last name. Funny dude. So
I bet they got some good stories.
And then in about an hour, I'm taping with Trevor May. They had Sunday Night Baseball in Philly. They're now in St. Louis. We got a lot of ground to cover with that crazy series in Philly. So it'll be fun.
I can't wait. I can't wait to see what T May has to say about that series, because it was wild, man.
It was wild. And we got a lot of shit to cover with him. And don't forget, if you want a Chris Rose Rotation t-shirt, they're available. I'll pick yours up for free, okay, Plouffe?
Okay, I got a promo code.
Way to slide that one in there. All right, dude, have a great time today. Everybody, we'll see you back here again, 11:30 Eastern on Tuesday, right?
Right. Yep.
All right, bro. See you then.
See you later, guys.